Date, I will leave my adoptive family overnight. All I'll leave them will be a letter. I didn't expect to give you an update so quickly, but in the brief time span between my post yesterday and this one right here, so many things happened that I have to update you right now. Let's start by what happened yesterday. First of all, I never expected my post to blow up like this. This is absolutely insane. I tried to read all of your comments and answer all direct messages, but it's just too many. So I'm sorry if I ignored you. Many of you had great advice, such as taking all my documents with me and go to the police, which I wanted to do today. Let's go through everything that happened chronologically. After reading through many comments, I decided to take my documents with me. So the evening before my adoptive parents went to bed, I snuck into their bedroom and took all documents that I could find and waited for nightfall. I packed my things and left when all of them were asleep. Everything went as planned. I silently left the house and went to my best friend's home. He had an apartment in a neighbor city, so I had to walk for a while. I arrived at his apartment between 2 and 3 a.m. He had a spare bedroom that he used for visitors who might want to stay for the night. We agreed that I could live with him as long as I want. He only expected me to find a job quickly, and if I do that, he wants me to help him pay the rent for it. I was fine with that. I slept through the night, and in the morning I started looking for jobs immediately. But now a few hours, something more than interesting happened. While I was on his laptop still looking through the online job advertisements and collecting them, the doorbell rang. He opened the door and I heard a familiar voice. But it wasn't one of my parents. It was one of my sisters. Maria, to be exact. The middle sister. I heard how she asked if I was here. He wanted to lie for me, but I decided to talk to her to find out what she wanted. So I appeared behind him and she went, "Thank God you're here," and hugged me. I was completely overwhelmed and surprised and didn't know what to say, and then she told me how she found me, and this is where things get more interesting. She told me that this morning a way too familiar sounding story appeared on her TikTok For You page. Apparently my story was shared by a TikTok account who actually had a quite big audience, and she became even more suspicious of the situation when her and the name of her sisters were also mentioned. To be sure about the situation, she went in the basement and into my room, where she found the room mostly empty and of course my letter. I mentioned in the story that I would stay with a friend, so she went out looking for me, telling our parents she was about to visit a friend. She said she drove to 2 different houses before finding the correct address. She apparently visited 2 other friends of me before finding the correct apartment. Apparently she also took the letter with her. She said she hasn't showed them the letter yet and wanted to talk to me first. No one besides her knew where I was or what I did the last night. She apologized to me and offered to talk with her on my side to our parents. She explained that the way I talked about her in the original post made her feel bad. She said she never hated me or anything. She admitted that she also protested against me having a room on their floor, but just because of Alicia's influence on her and because she believed her lies when she was younger. Now that I think about it, unlike Alicia and Juliet, she never called me bad names. She said that Juliet probably also is just insufferable because of how Alicia manipulated her. She said she never realized how bad I was treated. She never gave a second thought about me because Alicia spread rumors that I was just very socially awkward and overall didn't like any of them, and that I would just lock myself inside the basement like the worst introvert and all of that. And as a reason for her claims, she just reminded them that I was adopted, and that is why I would try to make myself the outsider. I said to her that this might explain why she and Juliet might have been like that to me, but not why my parents would have behaved that way. She replied that she also can just make claims here without any proof, but she thinks it's because even between them, Alicia is the golden child as the firstborn. Her and Juliet are only the failed attempts of them having a boy, and her being the golden child made it easier for her to manipulate both of them into believing the lies she told them. Then she said that she knows that mom and dad would be pretty easy to manipulate if you know how. And then she gave me 4 options. 1. I could come with her right now and talk with her to my parents. 2. She would let me think about it and leave but not tell my parents. 3. I refused to go back with her entirely, but she would tell them about the letter without telling them where to find me. 4. I refused to go back with her entirely, but she would pretend to not know anything but maybe stay in contact with me. I picked option 2 and she gave me her number. She said that if I decide to give them a chance she would support me, but she would understand if I refused to. And now we are here. I don't know what to do. I would lie if say I wasn't tempted to give them a chance. But on the other hand, if it's true that Alicia is the one behind all of that, I don't know if I want to deal with her again.